I grew up in a small town in South Carolina. I drank out of the colored water fountains. I went to the colored elementary school. But we lived in a community where people told us that we were someone, even when the world said we were not. And I saw my parents give back to the community. My father was a community activist. He was a civil rights person. He wasn't afraid to speak up, and he continued to work for the community. So I saw that as a child growing up. And so I stand on their shoulders. Those are my roots and my foundations, and I wouldn't take anything for that journey because it really began to take hold of who I am, and it really began to set me on a journey. It was at Model Cities that I was called to ministry, ordained ministry. And I thought, who, me? What do I know about being an ordained pastor? Going into ordained ministry was a little frightening because I was going into a traditionally male role. But being at Model Cities and other places that I've worked really helped me do my ministry in a holistic way. People would come to me and say, oh, I'm feeling down and out. I'm not feeling close to God. And there were two questions. The questions were, how are your relationships and how is your money? And almost all of the time, it was something about finances. And so I would send them to a person in the church who was a financial counselor. And so we began a pilot program, and that was in 2008, and it is still going on today. We have trained and empowered over 1,000 people over the years, where people have bought homes, people have sent their children to college, started 401ks. And when people feel good about their finances, it gives you something. It gives you freedom and it gives you security. And so when you're empowered, when African Americans are empowered, that's racial equity work. I had the privilege of working in a community that I really love, that was very dear to me. And I'm grateful that I was able to do it. I walked with families that nobody knew I was walking with. We gave when nobody knew you were giving. I want people to be the best that they can be and have a life that is a life of well-being and a life of health and wealth. That's what I want.